Hi there and welcome back to Vietnam, where we're temporarily based before we go back to a new home in Japan. And as you guys know, we're doing our current album listen through, which is To New Beginning by BAND-MAID. Now we've done a few listen throughs to full albums of theirs before and a lot of their tracks. However, this is an interesting one because this is their second album, as far as I'm aware, following on from the first one, which was quite different from the identity of the BAND-MAID that I suppose we could say that we all know and love nowadays, certainly the international hard rock BAND-MAID that we all know. That first album was quite poppy and I quite enjoyed it. Now we're a few tracks in, we're on track 4 of this album. Thrill and Real Existence were, if you've been following the New Beginning playlist, reaction playlist that we got on this channel, if not, it's in the description below where you can check out my reaction to all the tracks. Thrill and Real Existence I did before I started this album listen through, so I'd already listened to them. Real Existence was the very first track I'd ever heard by BAND-MAID, but certainly the tone of this album is very much heavy. The first two songs, Thrill and Freeze, are very riff-centric. Real Existence, even though it's more of a traditional rock song, does go for a very hard edge as well. So Price of Pride, again, the name is kind of suggesting I'm expecting a hard rock song here, but I'm kind of hoping that although this is another album that is written by staff writers, unlike their newer stuff, it's written by staff writers like the first album was, I'm hoping that this album manages to not just reinvent the band, but also show that they're still capable of doing the more fun and poppy stuff that they did on the first album as well. I know that tracks later in the album, like Don't Let Me Down, certainly going to do that because I've already heard that one in the reactions as well before. But I want to hear a little bit of variation in this album. So they've proven they can go hard. Let's see where Price of Pride goes, but no idea what to expect. Just 3 hard songs down. Where will they take it on this one? All right, Price of Pride, let's give it a listen. Interesting start, quite hectic, quite rhythmic. That's very rock and roll. Interesting chorus. It's not bad. A lot of the interest seems to be coming from the drums, Akane's drums. She's really flipping up the style of the backing during the chorus. Otherwise it would probably be a little bit generic. I really like the verse and the pre-chorus in this so far. Anyway. That's cool. There's a weird effect on the vocal there. Right, so yeah, another heavy song, nothing wrong with that. Certainly seems they're laying out the direction they want this album to go in very much. Now with this one, the focus, again, like I say, as seems to be the case a lot of the time, not so much on their first album, but I think it's kind of a signature thing of BAND-MAID that we've discussed a lot with you guys, the fans, in the comments and in a lot of our discussions on here and on Reddit and on our Discord, is the fact that as a band, their strong suit seems to be more focused towards rhythm than it is towards melody. I mean, things like riffing, things like beats, things like, funk is what they can do, going between funk and rock. They're more sort of adept at that than they would be at, complicated melodic strings. Now, this is one of those songs where it really shows that, because the chorus in this is pretty good. There's a really nice flowing melody actually going through the verse, going through the pre-chorus, and yet there perhaps isn't enough for that to be, if you like, enough on its own. Akane really adds an interesting beat on this. I mean, the beat is flipping up all the time, and as is often the case in her best work, and certainly her more recent work, this is where it really shines. She seems to be able to know exactly when to change the beat, the style, the rhythm, put in the right fills at the right point without interrupting the flow or making the song sound bitty, which would be the case in a less competent drummer's hands. So she's very good at doing that, and this is probably the first example, listening through the songs of BAND-MAID chronologically, this is the first example I've really heard of her doing that, really taking a song and wringing the neck out of it. And I think that this song benefits massively for the work she puts in. It takes something which is okay, pretty good, and makes it actually quite an interesting one. This I feel I would want to go back and re-listen to this song, partly just because of the switches and the flows and the variations that come at the hand of the drum beat, really. The melody, like I say, there's nothing wrong with the melody. It's actually pretty strong, but I do think this song gains its individuality from the beat. Now, as for the rest of it, like I say, there was a good sense of style. I did like the pre-chorus especially. I really liked the way that first verse built up into the chorus. That was kind of unexpectedly cool. I almost thought like I was listening to a chorus right then. It has its moments. It is not like I say, it's not a standout track because it is an album track. That's fair enough. But I think it's a very good one to move the album along. And like I say, it's got enough individuality from the tracks that go before it to make it actually relevant. However, here's the big one. We've now had 4 pretty heavy tracks. Now, like I said, when it came to World Domination is a really good album, actually, in many, many ways. But my only criticism of it is and some of you guys actually agree with this, some of the fans agreed, is that it is a bit of a difficult listen depending on your mood, because it doesn't really have any variation until like the last few tracks, and that's a very brief little change of tone. It's pretty much hard all the way through, which does also take away from some of the impact. Now, I know with this album they're trying to prove a point, but what I'm really looking forward to seeing is we're now kind of halfway through. Like I said, I know how this album ends. I know the last 2 tracks already. So I'm going to be checking out Arcadia Girl next, then Don't Apply the Brake, then Beauty and the Beast. I'm interested to see if there's any tonal variation in this album, or whether it, like World Domination, is a case of go hard or go home. And let's see if there's going to be any musical variation, which, well, there already has been enough to prove that point. So let's see where we go with this next. No point in me waffling, might as well move on to the next track, and you can do that either by following on the playlist if you're not already. That's in the description below for our listen through to this entire album. Or you can check out any of our other videos, or you can get on our Reddit and our Discord and get involved in giving us more suggestions for the channel. Or you can go on to our Facebook and Twitter if you want to be more casual and follow there. Or you can get in the Patreon if you really like us and you want to support what we do. But for now, from Vietnam, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video. But while I'm here, I'll say ciao ciao.